Hello, adventurer. It's good to see you. You have made it to the morning grind.
Welcome, welcome.
It's the live stream at the beginning of the Geekverse, where we talk about all types of topics in geekdom, gaming, and fantasy, with an emphasis on being constructive and creating the things that we want to exist in the world.
It's all on the grind, Sizemore. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
That's exactly right. There are a lot of adventures to be had today. Dungeons to explore and monsters to slay, and who knows what a random encounter might send our way. That's why we have to prepare, so settle in now for the morning grind with your favorite beverage in hand.
Tea? Or maybe something a little stronger. I've got a few bottles of the old Wynyard left.
Whatever you want. Pull up a chair.
Dude.
If you're feeling fancy, how about a cappuccino? Or a frappuccino? Or how about an espresso?
Just tea, thank you.
Sounds good to me, Gandalf. Whatever you want. I'm just glad you're here.
Everyone is welcome. You can just watch if you want. You don't have to worship anything you don't want to worship.
Thank you, Mike. But be forewarned.
Sometimes we get really strange characters around here.
Wait, what's that you say? Why can't you come and be a part of the stream?
My wife would disown me.
Oh no, I bet she'll be fine with it. Come on in.
Am I scared for my safety? No.
What are we supposed to do?
Everybody do the secret handshake.
Secret cultist handshake.
Oh, now do wizards who love each other.
This, my friend, is a science.
I still don't have gifts, but it's fine.
It's all on the grind, son. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
Dude, this would be a sick place to bring the band.
Indeed it would be, Dave. It really would. I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome, glad to have you here. Oh look, here's someone new.
Is this the cultist meetup?
Yes it is.
Come to hang out? Please accept me. I have nothing else.
Okay, we accept you. Everyone's welcome here.
Brought some snacks.
Well, that makes things even better.
You want some coffee? I don't drink coffee. You sure? It's cultist coffee. What makes it cultist coffee? I'm a cultist and I'm drinking it. Oh. Then I'll have some.
What exactly is going on here?
I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. It's so great to have you. Oh, and look, here comes another stranger.
Can we help you?
Yes, fellow cultists. I could really use some food.
Oh yeah? Welcome. We have donuts.
Oh, it's me. I'm glad I'm here. I'm sure you have a few questions for me, though.
What's your name? Who do you work for? What god do you worship?
Great questions, Rob.
I'm Steve King, and I worship Nyarlathotep.
No, not really. I'm just Heath, and I won't be worshiping anything this morning. But I will be your host. Welcome to the office. We're going to have a great time. I've got my coffee ready, because now it's time for the morning grind.
If you could become a fish, that would be amazing. Then I could command you with my mental fish powers.
Hey, everybody. Hey, I am here. We're having some problems this morning. So that's why I am audio only. Hey, just 1 second. I'm going to start the extra camera, though. That way there is a camera. Oh, and okay, so at the moment, that way there's something to see on the screen. So, hey, yes. So first of all, welcome everybody. It's been another long, 72 hours for me. But last night was a lot of fun. I did have a family get together. Was at the winery all yesterday, and then had a family get together until after midnight last night. We got together, had hot dogs and hamburgers. That was great. Then we did get we played games. We played One Night Alien and then One Night Werewolf. And by the way, One Night Werewolf is better than One Night Alien. If you're sitting there and you're trying to decide between the two, or thinking about getting them for somebody, do pick up One Night Werewolf. we didn't really understand the Alien one was a bit more complicated, and I don't think its gameplay was as good. But we played multiple rounds of that and had a great time. So welcome everybody. So I got back, and actually I'm having a technical problem because I had forgotten that a couple of days ago the I don't know what you call it, the USB bus that I've got over here, where I've got like half a dozen, no, not half a dozen, a dozen different USB ports, things plugged in, such as cameras and stuff. I think it died like 2 days ago, and I didn't think about that until this morning. So that's what I used to plug different cameras into and all of that. So I was having a camera problem anyway, and now my USB thing is dead, or I think it's dead. So I got to figure that out. So the only camera that I've got, I was like, hey, let's do an unboxing today. And so let's take a look at the Land of Eem. So that was what I was planning on doing, and I only have one camera anyway that I can shoot from, and that's okay because I look terrible. So here we go. So we'll still look at the Land of Eem. I'm gonna have to move. I will ultimately move this microphone so it's not sitting on top of what we're looking at here. But let's see who all is here. We do have, yes, I logged in today and it said, hey, there's something new and experimental here in StreamYard, which is to put the comments on the screen over here. And I should still be able to, highlight a comment like that. Yeah. But let's see, let's get Land of Eem. Okay, there we go. So I should be able to highlight a comment, which I can. Yeah, so good morning, Better with Bacon. Good morning. But it does, as an experimental feature, let us put that up on the screen now. And also my lighting isn't as good. So because the USB thing is out, that actually took out my lights as well, my main lights. So good morning, Mike. Good morning. Good morning, Stray. And BGD, good morning. Good morning. Titterpig, great to see you. Good morning. Let's see. So at least the audio is strong. So that's coming through well. So it was a fantastic time last night. But another late night out. So much going on. Okay, so one thing, I released a video on the Cultist channel yesterday. No, this wasn't yesterday. Now I believe it was Thursday. Now it was a few days ago. This Muppet Heavy Metal. I've been working on this for a while in some of the evenings, and I'm gonna go ahead and bring this up. Let's see. There we go. So yeah, there we go. So if you haven't seen it, I did put it out to the Discord server. I'll put the link over here in the comments. Oh. There we go. Mike says the Muppet video was great. Here is the Muppet video. Oh, did it stopped? Am I still connected? Oh, hang on. Okay, maybe that's better. Oh, hey, now that just uses that as my camera now. Okay. Excuse me. So anyway, I posted this. I was really happy with it. And the thing is with all of this, like this technology and stuff that's going is once again, there were things. There we go. There were things that were in this video and at the end that I couldn't even do in the beginning because there were new stuff. The new stuff was coming out even as I was making the video, which has been the case every time I've tried to use one of these video or tried to make a video, that like new stuff is releasing as I'm making it. So I definitely, it's like experiencing the acceleration right there. So they right now this one is approved. So I put it out there, and then also as an experiment, I wonder if this is something that can be promoted, if YouTube allows this to be promoted. And at the moment, or as of yesterday anyway, I haven't checked this morning, it is it is still approved, or it was still approved. So we will see. That doesn't mean they can't take it down if for whatever reason they want, but at the moment it is still approved. And the response to it has been really amazing. I'll play what I was trying to do was put a link into the chat. Yeah, this is you, Stray. Blew out the fuse, plugging the Christmas lights in for Crimbus. Yeah, everything is blown up. I hope I don't have to get another USB like hub, a USB hub. That's what I'm talking about. But we will see. So the
A is for us and up with who all has begun. B is for the black goat, when it's nice and young. C is the cultists, chatting on their knees. D is the dark for devouring the seas. E are the ties, peering from the skies. F is the fear that you'll never disguise. G is
so I learned a lot from making this. We won't watch the whole thing, but the link is there.
I is insanity.
Oh, I love that guy. The insanity guy, the guy with all the teeth here. I love this guy. I thought this was great. But so I learned a lot. Oh, you hadn't seen it yet, Titter Pig? So the link's there. That's just posted on the Cultist channel. I did that song a while back ago and just hadn't been able to finish all of the visuals yet. And but anyway, so I decided to finish that up earlier this week. I posted it on Thursday, and for the most part, actually, the response to it has been overwhelmingly positive. A few people, of course, there's a handful of people who just are completely hating it. Well, first of all, you have just the anti-AI people who just absolutely hate it, and so they were like, downvoting anything that's positive about it and whatever else. So you had, but that's a small handful of disruptive people who don't like it, just because they don't like it. And then there's only one person who said, okay, this isn't good, and actually gave coherent reasons for it. So overwhelmingly positive response. It's one of my favorite videos that I've made so far. Of course, a handful of very loud, ardent haters, and then one person who had a serious critique of it as a video, which has to do with actually some of the things that I also think, because the audio and the visuals are generated separately, and the video doesn't know what the audio is supposed to be, at the current state of technology. That yes, I was trying to basically line up as best as I could, like Muppet lip syncing to the song. Which is not fantastic, at the moment, or the playing of the song or something like that. Of course, like the drum doesn't exactly hit when the drum hits, the drummer hits it and things like that. So yeah, so that's a limitation of the technology at the moment. I kind of tried to cut it the best that I could, and I think there's a little bit of additional give in there that people will have because it's a Muppet. That I intentionally decided, okay, let's do a Muppet kind of thing, because of that reason, rather than trying to do, a human thing. But then again, oh, I see some comments here. But then again, well, I forget where I was going with that. So Better with Bacon says, did you instruct the AI to make the green guy's eyes different colors? It actually did that on its own. I went through several iterations of what the lead singer was going to look like, and one of them had a red eye, and so I ended up running with that. And I thought about not doing that for a while because that does make him not reversible. I wanted to be able to reverse him, but the red eye was so cool that I decided to stay with it. Oh, good. Mike says, send it to my gaming group in group text chat. Thank you. So I think it's worth getting the word out about. And this still doesn't even use the latest technology. If you've been following it all, VO3 from Google, one of the video generators, dropped last week, and I didn't have access to it. I haven't had access to VO2 for more than about a week. I got access to VO2 early last week and started to use it in some of the later stages of this video. But now VO3 is out, but I didn't have access to it. And actually, just before I got on the stream, I got a message that VO3 had been added to my Google account. So I'm going to play with that maybe this afternoon. Excuse me. So there's so a lot is changing really fast. So we will see now. Oh yeah, like the can we talk now for VO3, and then also the prompt theory. I was watching that last night. The one that it's pretty incredible. So of course we'll try it out. And see, God, now I have the hiccups. This morning is just not going well. Lots of more stuff to play with. I think what the next thing I'm going to do as far as video goes is do a demo of Rabavania, like some test images and demo of Rabavania. So it doesn't have to be a whole complete video, but I think it's time to actually try doing a demo of Rabavania in some different styles and just seeing how that goes. But I also think that it's time to actually try to tell a story. I mean, I've been doing music videos to kind of see what's up with the tech and what its latest is. But I think it's time to actually tell stories. So a little bit of demo with Rabavania to see what styles, okay, what can we do, things like that. And then I think it's time to actually try to do like a short film or something and actually tell a story with it. I think that time has definitely come. Yes. Okay. So I'll take that down. There we go. There we go. It's fun. That's one of my favorite videos that I have made so far, like I said now. So I had a great time with that. Okay, let's do a breathe and sip like the Titter Pig Rancher says, and then I'm gonna. Okay, there we go. I moved it and it muted. Okay, so yes, let's do a breathe and sip. Everybody, let's get your favorite beverage this morning. Favorite beverage this morning. Let's do 2 deep breaths, 2 deep inhales, complete exhales, and then take a sip of your favorite beverage. So let's sip and then breathe. And sip. All right. Well, I apologize if this is not the highest quality because the lights are just not. I can't plug in lights because my USB hub is out, and I can't think of anything else I can bring in to help. So, all right. Well, we've got what we've got. So let's do it. Bunny metal. I'm not planning on doing that. Okay, but Exalted Funeral sent this to me, The Land of Eem, and it's not one that I know hardly anything about. But I mean, this is a pretty serious RPG set. It's not a box set. Actually, there might be a box set in here, but it's a slipcase. Looks like with books, so it's close to a box set. And we've got something. This is probably the Game Master's Guide. It may be some type of map in here as well. And then I see this that says Meeple's Dice and Adventuring Supplies. So that could be a little mini box set that is inside this big slipcase. I was really surprised when it showed up because, okay, this is like Land of Eem Deluxe Edition. This is a really deluxe kind of thing here. Here's the spine. If you're putting it on your bookshelf, looks good. So here's what I guess what is inside. And I guess this also fits. I didn't know about this until the other day. Or actually this morning when I was looking it up. I think it was this morning. When it says The Land of Eem. It's the Lord of the Rings meets the Muppets. It is Lord of the Rings meets the Muppets. Well, that's perfect. I've been listening to Lord of the Rings again, and I'm still enjoying it. We just got Houses of Healing. And then the Muppets. So we just had a Muppet themed song here. So the Lord of the Rings meets the Muppets in this lighthearted fantasy tabletop role-playing game about exploration, discovery, and being creative. Land of Eem, created by Ben Costa and James Parks, is a game of whimsical, colorful characters exploring a wondrous world full of danger and discovery, set in the fantasy world of the graphic novel series Rickety Stitch and the Gelatinous Goo, and the book series Dungeoneer Adventures. Land of Eem is easy to learn and packed with rules and resources that make playing and running the game a breeze. This deluxe set contains the following. The core rulebook. As lore-seeking wanderers, fortune-seeking pioneers, and adventure-seeking do-gooders, your heroes will travel across the sprawling hex map, encounter both the perilous and the hilarious, and unearth the remnants of a forgotten age. And then it tells you what is inside the core rulebook, which is a lot: character classes, playable folk, magic items, powerful relics, boons, curses, crafting. Oh, 150 crafting components. That's interesting. So there's a crafting element to this game. I wonder what that mechanic is like. Random NPC tables, and more and more and more. It contains the Land of Eem GM screen, a 33-inch by 8.5-inch Game Master screen featuring an expanded version of the Mucklin's Sandbox cover illustration by artist John Lauren. The inside of the screen has handy rules for the Land of Eem, like the core dice mechanic, travel, conflict procedures, and more. The Mucklin's Sandbox campaign setting, an expansive hex crawl sandbox filled with hundreds of locations, NPCs, quest hooks, and rumors for players to pursue, packed with enough material to last for years of gameplay. Mucklin's unique biomes, locations, factions, NPCs, quests, 400 plus quests, it says, 500 plus rumors, 70 heroic titles that the characters can earn during their journeys. The Mucklin's map, okay, travel is an integral part of playing the Land of Eem. Oh, I'm interested in this because we talk a lot about the different travel systems that we've got, and I'm still kind of looking for a really good one, so I wonder what's going on in here. But it says the Mucklin's map, travel is an integral part of playing the Land of Eem, so using a map is essential. This is a sturdy 25.5 by 22-inch fold-out map game board with 6 panels. We have gelatinous goo dice, a set of 7 transparent blue dice with bellies full of recently digested rickety and snitch-inspired skulls, lovingly sourced from gelatinous goo spawning pits at the core of the earth. We've got a bestiary and the Land of Eem's meeple pack set of 6. The wooden meeples of all 6 classes from the Land of Eem core rulebook, perfect for marking the hex map and gallivanting across it in style. Bard, Dungeoneer, Gnome, Knight, Loyal Chum, and Rascal. This is quite a thing. All right, let's see what is inside. Do I have a knife? Yes, I do. At least I have my pocket knife this morning, my Leatherman. So everything is not going wrong. Does anybody else have this? It's been a while since we've done an unboxing. And this has been sitting on the shelf for a little while since time. Okay, so that comes off. That's that what we were just reading. Oh, so that's the illustration on the back now. Let's see. Oh, Better with Bacon says Exalted Funeral also has 2 digital-only supplements available for this game, and he's got it. Okay. Now you were saying you thought this was a web comic, but we hadn't seen that. So, okay. So, core rulebook, bestiary, the Mucklin Sandbox campaign setting, meeples, dice, and adventuring supplies. That looks like the GM screen. That is the Mucklin's map. I like that name, the Mucklin's, Land of Eem, Mucklin's. Oh, that is a box. I mean, they've got a whole box in there. So this right here, these are books. Yes, okay, these are books right here. Core rule book. I do like this illustration too. That looks very much like the Muppets meets the Lord of the Rings. Bestiary. Oh, that's fun and bright. campaign setting. Man, I'd love to do some of this. Yeah, I know this is done extremely well. I mean, who wouldn't want a set like this for their game world or for their world? Let me move the slipcase. Stuff all over the place. Titterpig says it's amazing how much higher quality the independent RPG publishers tend to be than the Wizard of the Coast products. Exalted Funeral is almost at Free League levels. Yeah, I know. I am loving Exalted Funeral too. Of course, we've been big Free League fans here on the channel for a while, but now, yeah, I've also become a huge fan of Exalted Funeral. And they did send this to me, by the way. I think I said that elsewhere, but I don't know if I said it on stream yet. So they did send this to me. Let's see. So okay, here's the box. So what's inside this box? I guess that's for dice rolling right there. So it's a dice rolling box. Maybe. So want to spend more time in the Land of Eem? Pick up the Laugh Out Loud book series, Dungeoneer Adventures by Ben Casta and James Parks. Perfect for tween readers who love The Last Kids on Earth. We have a set of dice here. Looks like a standard set. Yeah. Standard set of polyhedral dice. It does have, I do like this. Is there something inside of it? Yes. Yeah, there is something inside of it. Here, I wonder if you can see, especially in this light. There's something floating. There is something floating in the dice. It was talking about some kind of gelatinous dice. What did it say about that? A set of 7 transparent blue dice with bellies full of recently digested Rickety Stitch-inspired skulls, lovingly sourced from gelatinous goo spawning pits at the core of the earth. Ah, okay. So inside, they are skulls. They're skulls inside. Oh, another thing. Hey, Brett. Good morning, Brett. Another thing that I did on Wednesday. On Wednesday, I did attend the Avalon Hill media event. That was a Zoom call. They invited me to the Avalon Hill media event where they were talking about HeroQuest and some of the other games that they were releasing. And they brought on the designer of the Crypt of Perpetual Darkness to talk. I'm not sure what I can say yet because I thought, what is today's date? The 25th. So there's an embargo on talking about all of that until the 29th. I think I can say when the pre-order date for the next HeroQuest box is going to be, which will be the 29th, and they put an embargo on talking about it until the 29th. But I've seen some of what is inside that box, and I got a media package. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to put out a video or something. It'd be fun to put out like a video about what it was like on the 29th or something when the embargo is over. But I did do that, and that was interesting. And I also really appreciated Avalon Hill letting me in on that. So we will see, and then we'll talk about it once the pre-order goes live. Okay, we do have meeples. They're meeples with color. Look, there's a knight. I like that. Got a shroom guy. That must be the bard. It's kind of skeletal bard. So they're painted meeples. I thought it was going to be meeples like plain wood meeples with, for different kinds of NPCs and stuff. But this said this was all the core character classes. There's the gnome for use with the map. So that is what is inside the box here. Let's go. As always, running out of space. I want to check out the map. Here's the map. Oh, wow. This is a lot more than I was expecting. I got to move this microphone or to undo the map. There is a lot of detail here. Wow. Yeah, I know. This is an incredible box set. So this is also man, okay, I need more room. But I was not expecting this at all. Man, this looks old school with this, especially with the size of the hexes. I was expecting, I think I was expecting larger hexes or whatever, but this looks old school. They're all numbered too, so that you can find them. I guess this is like grid coordinates so that you can find these. And there's a lot of stuff to go adventuring in. Oh, this would be fantastic. Can you imagine something like this for Rabavania? This really makes me want to know more about their adventuring system. Probably we're gonna have to look at that independently, because we're kind of doing a first look today and kind of going through here. Because obviously this is a gigantic set, but I'm really interested now, especially how they're using this for a travel system in the RPG. The sinkhole, the gator maze, the quag marsh, and like the marsh gate. Crogland. This used to be the forest, the drippy downs, the high winds. Oh, I mean, this is nice. Get it out of here. It's blank on the back. Well, I mean, it's got their logo and stuff, but there's nothing on the back. Yes, this is a really nice set. Let's look at the Game Master's Guide and just see if that tells anything about how to play. Oh, okay. Then there's a lot of stuff on here. Hey, good morning, PH. The first impression here is that this is a good Game Master screen, because I like stuff on the Game Master screen. And the 5th edition Game Master screens, I reviewed a bunch of Game Master screens, not on live stream, but just on ordinary video. And I was quite critical of a lot of them, especially like the 5e screens, which don't basically have any information inside. So we do have information on skills and checks. Let's just check here, because we may not have the time this morning to go through like the entire core rule books, but let's try. Maybe this will give us an idea of what the mechanics are like. So this says skills and checks. The check is 1d12 plus skill, 1 or 2 complete failure, 3 to 5 failure with a plus, 6 to 8 success with a twist, 9 to 11 success, or 12 plus complete success. It says max +3 or -3 modifier to any check. Advantage is roll twice and take the better result. Disadvantage is roll twice and take the final worst result. Primary skill categories include Vim skills, charm, inspire, metal, perception. Vigor skills, athletics, intimidate, might, and vitality. Knack skills, nimbleness, search, sneak, trickery. Know-how skills, lore, realm, tinker, and wilderness. Thematic skill categories includes social skills, charm. Oh, so primary charm, we've seen charm, inspire, intimidate, trickery. So this is the same skills, looks like, but organized into thematic skill categories: social skills, movement skills, physical skills, and mental skills. 1d12 random PCs. So Flora Gangaroo, a goblin brewer with good looks, is training to become a competitive eating champion. So, okay, here's something about travel and camping right here. So travel check 1d12 plus realms, 1 to 2 perilous encounter, 3 to 5 dungeon encounter, 6 to 8, a bump in the road. 9 to 11, uneventful journey. 12 plus discovery. Okay, so what are bumps in the road? We roll D6 here, and we've got lost. Move 1 hex and roll 1D6 to see where. North, northeast, southeast, south, southwest. No progress in difficult terrain. So lost, moving in a random direction. Lost supplies. PC loses food, a ration, or a tool. Exhaustion. All suffer 1D6 dread and become tired. Bad weather. Move 1 hex and suffer -2 to the next travel check. Unwanted attention, +2 wandering intruder chance. Or 6, inter-party conflict. 2 random PCs start bickering about something important. We've got travel modifier table. These are things like traveling at night. Oh, okay. I guess traveling at night is travel 1 hex per turn and suffer disadvantage on travel checks. Difficult terrain, mountains, forests, swamps, rivers, sailing, choppy waters, etc. 1 hex per turn. Travel on roads marked on the map, +1 to travel checks. In a party mounted or on a vehicle on roads, 1 additional hex per day. Traveling by vehicle on waterways, travel an additional hex per day with an active crew. Large and huge vehicles may travel at night without disadvantage. Traveling in zones in the Land of Eem sandbox setting often penalizes travel checks. So camp travel turns, story time 1 turn. PCs tell stories and ask someone to eat, or ask questions while eating and cooking around the fire. Then next, find food and components 1 turn. PCs go off into the wilderness, usually to catch food in a pinch. Sleep 1 turn. PCs get sufficient amount of sleep. Without food and sleep, PCs don't heal courage. Long sleep 2 turns. The PC conks out for an extended slumber, usually to heal the tired condition. Or keep watch 1 turn. Instead of sleeping, the PC watches while others rest, which reduces the wandering intruder chance by 1. 2 PCs can take shifts during their turn. They won't need to be tired, but they don't heal courage that night. I definitely want to try that out. We've got combat right here. Combat phases, parley. Phase 2, improvise. Phase 3, run. Phase 4, combat. Range bands, close range, nearby, far away, distant, extreme. Melee combat is 1d12 plus attack plus defense. And then you've got critical miss on a 1 to 2, miss with a plus, hit with a counterattack, hit, critical hit. A ranged combat table, a defy death check. PC can perform a final heroic act before dying. PC lives but suffers a wound and a lasting energy. PC lives but injury. PC lives but suffers a wound. We got a critical miss chart right here, and we've got a 1d6 miss with a plus chart right up here. So what is like miss with a plus? Hit an object in the environment for a positive effect. Alter the adversary's planned attack or action. Put the adversary in a bad or precarious position. We do have weapon rules down here for one-handed, two-handed, improvised weapons, dual wielding, and ammo. Conditions. I love conditions. Well, this is great. I really want to know more about this system. So we do have conditions like I like. We recognize a lot of them here. We do have bleeding, blinded, burning, deafened, engulfed, entangled, ensorcelled, frightened, overburdened. Wandering intruder check. Okay, right here. D100, D20. Adversaries. Goons are nameless mooks and minions, easily manipulated and quick to flee. Bruisers are more stalwart foes, usually named and harder to manipulate. In the absence of a champion, bruisers frequently lead groups of goons. And then champions, the strongest adversaries, many class abilities simply won't work on them. Average goon chart. Average courage chart. Average courage chart. Don't know what that is, but by level, by goon, bruiser, or champion. And then treasure hunting. Placing a treasure hoard. So we've got a table to generate a treasure hoard. Contents. Loot pile, old hoard, ancient hoard, and mythic hoard. 5 treasure hunting checks. Pouches of ancient coins and gold coins. 1 spell scroll. 5 components. 1 D20 materials. Okay, so there is a lot that's on that screen that looks like, which I like. So that looks like a lot to play the game with. And also gives me some kind of idea about how this is actually played. How are we doing today? Okay. We've been going for 40 minutes, so we still have time. Well, I guess we should look at the core rulebook. I am kind of really interested in this campaign setting. But okay, core rulebook right here. Stray says my mother calls me a goon. Quick reference charts. Becoming very common to use this front space in the book. Yeah, Tinnerpig says this could deserve more than one morning grind to go through. I think so, and especially if like the travel system and stuff is really good, and how it's using and what exactly this means, like with this map, and then what exactly this means. This is a sandbox campaign setting. I mean, how does that work? What do they mean by that? Because this may be, I mean, this could be like the kind of amazing thing that would be like the ultimate idea for Rabavania one day or something. Some kind of system like this. It's got a cool look on the inside. Man, okay, right here. Like as far as the layout goes and stuff. It's not like overly dense or anything like that. I know. Titterpig says, I love the naming. This whole setting just seems charming as heck. It really does. Okay, so let's go up here. So okay, so core rulebook. Our chapters. How we kind of look at this. Oh, and let's see if we can find we need to see if we can find a character sheet. Maybe there's some pre-generated characters. Table of contents. Our chapter 1, the basics. What is this about? Also covers dice mechanics, playing the game, skills, abilities. Chapter 2 is character creations. That's also the way that I prefer to do it. Like we talk about, like what's actually, how do you play this game? Chapter 1, how do you play this game? Chapter 2, then if you're trying to create a character, how to create a character is chapter 2. Items and equipment is chapter 3. Adventuring is chapter 4. That includes information on travel and exploration, making camp, conflicts, combat, and downtime. Adversaries, chapter 5, adversaries. Chapter 6, the game master, and then random tables. Let's see. Look at this right here. It's an age of ashes. The gleaming empires of old have faded into obscurity, leaving a tired world riddled with dungeons and ruled by friends. They say the world has no heroes, but clearly they've never met you. Okay, let's just see what this game is about. So, I mean, that sounds like an excellent place to start. So, no, Rabavania would be grittier than this game. Yeah, especially depending on what type of, which one of the settings it is, which one of the time periods it is. Maybe the current, it does look, I would say even the current version is grittier than this. I mean, this one seems like it has a comedic element to it. We'll find out that Rabavania doesn't have quite as much of, but we will see. Okay, so sandbox setting, or I was actually working on the while some video was generating, while videos were being generated, I had on the other screen or in another window Rabavania stuff for crit, like the adventure information on adventures and taking notes. So sandbox and some adventures. Okay, so what is this about? The Land of Eem is a tabletop fantasy role-playing game about adventures exploring and discovering the remnant of a forgotten age. Players portray colorful, often whimsical characters set against a backdrop of perilous fantasy. As lore-seeking wanderers, fortune-seeking pioneers, and travel-seeking do-gooders, these characters travel the Land of Eem during a time devoid of heroes. The Land of Eem is designed to value creativity, role-playing, and exploration. Here are a few of the game's core principles. Character abilities allow players to invent and shape the world around them, and the game's dice mechanic encourages collaborative storytelling. Characters earn XP not by slaying monsters, but by role-playing, exploring, and engaging with the narrative in the game world. While getting into fights is part of the game, players almost always have opportunities to talk their way out of conflict. Almost every creature or monster encountered in the land is a person. They speak a language, have thoughts, feelings, desires, and motivations, and players should be willing to parley before running headlong into a slugfest. In the Land of Eem, it would be wrong to assume every Manticore wants to eat you, just as it would be foolish to think that every human you meet wants to kill you. The Land of Eem is about player-driven exploration. Random encounters are a core part of the game as characters travel across the huge hex map. This does sound fun. So it says the setting here. Oh, and we also have some information on the tone here too. So the setting, well, let's go this is small here with the tone. We were just talking about that. The tone. For all its post-apocalyptic doom and gloom, the Land of Eem is tonally quite lighthearted and droll. Based on our fantasy book series Rickety Stitch and the Gelatinous Goo and the Dungeon Adventurers, it combines Lord of the Rings high fantasy epicness with a heavy dose of Muppet-like whimsy and a dash of Mad Max dystopia. So it says, this is a land of color and wonder, a world with many storied regions and realms teeming with diverse cultures, characters, and creatures. Eem is also a land in decay, for the great civilizations of the past crumbled long ago at the hands of the mysterious Gloom King. Ever since the world has declined into an untamed, unchecked land filled with all manner of monsters and friends, fearsome warlords, and most recently, greedy tycoons, ushering in a truly industrial age called the Dungeon Era, a time chaotically run by rival corporations locked in never-ending quests to outdo one another in business expansion. All the while, average folk toil away in mines. The southern realm of Eem and its seat of corporate power, known as the Mucklands, is broken into 6 distinct regions. The Drippy Downs, okay, so this was the map. The Drippy Downs, the Fleabag County, Quagmarsh River Country, Scalawag Strand, and the Used-to-be Forest. So the Used-to-be Forest, this says, home to the tycoons of corporations that fuel the Dungeon Era, the Used-to-be Forest is a barren landscape of cracked earth and felled trees. A true testament to what happens when big business and small moral fiber make a mess of the natural world. Let's see. Here is the dice mechanics. I would like to see a character sheet. NIM skills, vigor skills, knack skills. Let's see, maybe there are some in the back. That's interesting that that's not actually in the box. There isn't like some pre-made character cards to hand out in that box. I think I would have liked to have seen that. Bacon, I know you said you had this. Does that do you know where a character sheet is by chance? Otherwise, we'll just keep going. Let's look at the dice mechanics and see what this is about. So anytime a PC does something where the outcome is uncertain, they should make a check to find out what happens. Checks can happen proactively, initiated by a player to use an NPC using a PC ability, or reactively called for by the game master. To make a check, roll D12, adding or subtracting the relevant skill modifier. The result determines the success or failure that occurs. We got complete failure, failure with a plus, success with a twist, success, and complete success. Oh, everything is broken comes in and says, oh, Bacon says he doesn't recall, but everything is broken. Hey, everything is broken. Says there's a free quick start with pre-made characters on drive-thru. I figured they had to be someplace. Okay, so those are up on drive-thru. You know, I saw a download. I got this in front of it. I saw this right here a moment ago that says download. There's a QR code. So that could be a link to that. I think like in the idea today that everything is out of order. I think my phone isn't even charged right now because I can't charge it because my USB hub is out. Everything, yes. Well, here's to you. You know, we like to do a sip, and you can't even see it because I don't have the other camera up right now. But everything is broken. I thought this was the first time I'd seen you in the chat. Everything is broken says, hi, new here, but I play Eem. And you come up on a search because of lucky timing. Oh, all right. Well, it's fantastic to have you here. Welcome to the morning grind. Here's to you. Here's a sip to everything is broken. Great to have you. And it's great. So it's great to have somebody who's actually playing the game as well in the chat. So thank you so much for being here. But anyway, so that's possible that this is the drive-through RPG link right here. Maybe Bacon could find out. I can't find out because everything that I have, my power is out on everything that I've got right now. So interpreting results. Now, okay, so I mean, this does. So we're talking about having complete failure, failure with a plus, success with a twist, success, and complete success. At first, I thought we were going with like partial success. And of course, we've talked about how I personally don't think that happens very well. That works very well at the table, which is not exactly what I see here. So here, let's talk about how they are interpreting the results here. So as you see, there are 5 types of check results. It's generally up to the game master to interpret these situational results, but the other player's input should be welcomed and encouraged. After all, interpreting results in the moment often requires creative thinking and improvisation. And in those situations, multiple heads are better than one. Oh, Everything is Broken says the designers also have about 4 years of actual plays up on their channel as well to see them in action. Oh, okay. I need to check that out. So complete failure, it says examples are like picking a locked door. A PC fails to pick the lock and makes a lot of noise doing so, alerting the guards. Tricking some guards. A PC fails to trick the guards and then move to take the PC into custody. So yeah, so complete failures. It seems not only did you not get what you wanted, but it was also worse. So the PC fails to pick the lock, and then makes noise alerting the guards. Or escaping the guards, the PC is caught by the guards and winds up in custody. Oh, no problem, Bacon. Failure with a plus. An attempt fails with a benefit or a silver lining. So, okay, so this is failure with a plus. So picking a locked door, the PC fails to pick the lock, but notices another, more perilous way inside. Or tricking some guards. A PC fails to fast talk the guards, but has a chance to swipe the key. Escaping the guards, the PC is caught by the guards, but encounters an old friend in prison. Okay. 6 to 8 is success with a twist. For example, when picking the locked door, a PC picks the lock, but does so noisily, attracting unwanted attention. So, okay, so that's kind of like complete failure here, but the important part's reversed. Whereas you don't get it down here, but you're bringing attention. This is success with a twist. So I get a twist is the opposite of a plus. The plus, you failed, but you got something else. You succeeded, but in a complicated way. Mike says, does this potentially suffer from the pterodactyl problem? For the pterodactyl problem. That's what I was kind of wondering. Because that's what I think about when I think about this kind of system. So like that's kind of like we just looked at a good situation. Okay, the PC is caught by the guards, but encounters an old friend in the prison. So some people won't like that. But that's based on place, because that's like, okay, how did my inability to escape the guards put an old friend of mine in prison? You know, what's the link, right? Okay, so that that was an example that we were using, kind of an extreme example, but an example in systems like that where you get or failing forward. You know, the idea of failing forward. If you fail the roll, well, in some systems and in some game design philosophies, you are, the game system is still supposed to move forward. So like if you're climbing up the mountain, I fail my climb check. Okay, well then you get to the top of the mountain, but you are immediately attacked by a bunch of pterodactyls. So that's the penalty for having failed the check. You've got to face the pterodactyl at the top. And from the world building perspective and the like verisimilitude of the world, some people don't like that. It's like, what did failing my climb check have to do with all of a sudden there being pterodactyls up here? So this is kind of like that. But this whole game appears to be based on that kind of thing. We're told up front, like what type of story this is. Right. Yeah. So the idea that the link between failing or succeeding with consequences is nebulous at times. Yeah. And so sometimes, because, it admits this. So, I mean, this talks about this up here. Where were we? Oh, no, over here. It says that interpreting results in the moment often requires creative thinking and improvisation. And in those situations, multiple heads are better than one. So, I mean, this is very much admitting that right here, because that was always to me, kind of a problem that when it's very easy to write those kinds of rules. Oh, you succeed with a twist, you fail with a, you succeed with you succeed with a consequence or whatever it is. That's very easy to write and it can sound very good, but sometimes it doesn't manifest itself very well at the table, because even though I would like to say I'm a creative person and I play with a lot of creative people, I know you're a lot of creative people too. Sometimes coming up with a whole bunch of consequences, for partial successes, or you succeed, but you've got a drawback. You see, sometimes that can be hard to come up with at the table, especially making not only creating that consequence or that twist or that plus or whatever, but also connecting it well to what was happening. Because then the pterodactyl problem is what seems to happen. Okay, well, I failed, but I got to fail forward with a, success. Okay, well, then you're just attacked or something. So there were pterodactyls at the top, and now you've got to fight the pterodactyls. Everything that's broken says, oh, right, yes, in the situation, yes, in this, the situation is supposed to change in some way that you couldn't technically retry the exact same thing again. Right, that is, now that's the positive side of this. Right, that, because yes, I also agree that with the game design philosophy that's like, okay, well, I'll roll it again, I'll do it again, isn't a great mechanic. That when the dice come out, I am also a proponent of that, okay, we're rolling to resolve something. If I can pick the lock, for instance, and if I can't, then I shouldn't be in a situation where I can try again. That's what it's trying to do. Right? Hey, good morning, Doc Flamingo. Good to see you. Titter Pig says you can throw it back to the player. You can always throw it back to the player. All right, success with a twist. You do what you wanted to do, but part of it goes differently than planned. What happens? So everything is broken says, yeah, in the devs game group, they have one player, George, who loves to playfully run with the narrative way further than the GM will ever let him go. But the actual result ends up with a GM compromise. I would be interested to see how they play it. Yeah. So that's great that they've got some actual play up, because I would be interested to know how they actually play it. So I would be very interested in seeing that too. Right, exactly. Yeah, I think of failing to pick the lock as including all of my retries. Yeah, the roll is covering all of those until I screw up bad or the guards come, etc. Right. Players who are actually role-playing, and that doesn't just mean acting in character, will often come up with better ideas the GM might be able to at the moment. Yeah, but also, this game has also very clearly told you in the beginning what its philosophy is. It tells you, like we read right here, over here with what is this game? Character abilities allow players to invent and shape the world around them, and the game's dice mechanic encourages collaborative storytelling. So that's dice mechanics that encourage collaborative storytelling, and that our XP is coming from engaging with the narrative of the world. And this is about player-driven exploration. So I guess that being the case, it doesn't surprise me that it's using a mechanic like this, because the whole game is set up like that, in order to be like that. It's not something that's trying to be shoehorned into something that's ordinarily not like that, like D&D or something. So success would be like you pick the lock. Picking the locked door, a PC picks the lock with ease, tricking some guards. You outwit the guards, escaping the guards, you escape. If you get complete success, for example, then the attempt succeeds and something great happens. Picking a locked door, the PC picks the lock quickly, giving them extra time to search the room. Okay, that one makes sense. Like, okay, I completely was successful at picking the lock. Okay, there's some extra good treasure inside. What does that have to do with something? But actually, that one what does that have to do with the roll? But that one ties in. If you are able to do it quickly, then you get extra time to search the room. Tricking some guards. The PC sweet talks the guards who are now completely trusting. That one makes sense. Escaping the guards. The PC loses the guards and leaves a false trail right to a rival game's doorstep. Now, this says move the story forward. It's important to remember that every check should move the story forward, ideally in a dramatic fashion. Interesting things should happen as the result of the check. This is what we were just talking about. The negative or positive consequences of failed actions should always prevent the narrative from stalling. So this is the fail forward kind of philosophy right here. As such, players can't repeat failed checks. It is assumed the PCs tried their best, and the situation has now moved forward in another direction, out of the frying pan and into the fire. I don't disagree with this game design philosophy at all. It's just sometimes I feel like it is difficult to implement. Everything is broken says one thing that helps it also doesn't need prep other than reading the area you're exploring around a bit. That would be fantastic. I want to know more about that. So players throwing out wild suggestions doesn't really derail anything. And we're big on low GM prep. Oh, yeah. Stray's probably got it. If you're on Discord, everything is broken. We'd love to have you in the Discord. I got it right here, I think. Boom, right here. So here is the Ravenkeep Discord. Sandbox style games like now, can you combine like a sandbox style game with something like West Marches? I mean, in a certain sense, it is. I'm wondering like what they're doing here. Like you're talking about the no prep kind of thing. Ben, the dev who GMs the actual plays, never preps and has new dad exhaustion, so you can tell he's always winging it. So the Blades, and they're going crazy with Blades the Dark. I mean, in a good way. I mean, there's a lot of Blades in the Dark stuff coming out and stuff. Now, it seems like their Blades in the Dark is being has overtaken Fate as far as all the publishing schedule and stuff. So yeah, I think there's a West Marches ish game on the Discord regularly. Okay, cool. So modifiers, you can modify things up to a +2 or +3 or -3. So an example, Nerman the Gnome wants to try to track down the Clutch Dragon. He has +3 wilderness skill, but suffers -1 penalty for the dense terrain, bringing the check's bonus down to +2. However, Eppley the Knight Errant successfully uses her Inspiring Orders ability to increase Nerman's check by +2. Mathematically, that would make it a +4 bonus, but it's instead capped at +3. The max cumulative bonus for the check. When Nerman gets the result of 8, he can roll to. He can still use a quest point to make it a 9. So we haven't learned about quest points yet. But it says that a quest point can always add an additional +1. Advantage and disadvantages. Target numbers. Some abilities and situations might call for a check that uses a target number and a simple pass-fail mechanic. This is usually described as on a 6+, meaning if the result is 6 or greater, the check succeeds. On the flip side, on a 5- means that if the check is 5 or less, the check fails. Helping an ally. Limited outcomes, making a check step by step. Making a player describes what their PC is attempting to do and the desired goal of their action if it's not obvious. Defining the goal helps interpret the results. The GM decides if a check is necessary or the action just works. Many abilities require a check. The GM and players determine the total modifier, the check, from any circumstance, bonus, penalties, advantage, or disadvantage, and the GM decides if there will be a limited outcome. Player makes the check, the reference, the chart. The GM, with the player's input, interprets the results. We even have the yes and principle here. The key tenet of improv: cooperate with your fellow players and support their ideas. Build on what they say instead of refuting or ignoring it. PCs have 4 attributes: vim, vigor, knack, and know-how. Vim is PC charisma, inner spirit, and intuition. Vigor is physical presence, prowess, and fortitude. Knack is cunning, dexterity, and stealthiness. Know-how represents the PC's knowledge, wisdom, and resourcefulness. Stat: there are 5 stats: courage, attack, defense, and quest points, and inventory slots. Courage determines how much dread a PC can withstand before being defeated. Determined by class, modified by Vim. Measures a PC's bravery and tenacity when adventuring. Attack measures a PC's combat prowess when striking foes, equal to the vigor modifier. Defense is how difficult it is for adversaries to harm the PC in combat. Modifiers attack targeting a PC. Modifies attacks targeting a PC. Derived from inverting the PC's knack modifier. A +1 knack is -1 defense. A negative defense is better. Negative defense is better. So knack is your cunning, dexterity, and stealthfulness. Quest points, here's quest points, represent a PC's adventuring savvy, will to succeed, and perhaps a bit of luck, equal to know-how +3, replenished at the start of each session. Spend to use a once every session ability or perk an additional time in a session. Or grant +1 to the result of the check after rolling. Inventory slots represent how much PCs can carry before becoming overburdened, equals to 20 plus might plus vitality. We have skills and skill groupings. It does say, it says skills are improved individually with XP as described later, and they can never have more than a +3 bonus or a -3 penalty. Some skills are grouped together thematically outside their respective attributes. Rules of the game sometimes refer to social, movement, physical, mental checks, or skills. To use a social skill, players must role play or describe what their PC is saying before any check is made. Players can never just make a check in lieu of role playing and engaging with the fiction. So we've got here are all the skills organized by your attribute. I thought that said the glasses, but that says the classes. The bard, sweet-voiced musician. The dungeoneer, an enterprising adventure seeker. The gnome in the Land of Eem. Gnomes may appear cute and harmless, but they are in fact some of the most powerful beings in existence. Protectors of nature and the chronicles of the old ways. Gnomes are the only class also doubling as the character's folk. The knight errant, strong and swift and courageous. A knight errant is a wayfinding warrior, lending their sword to a cause. Chivalry and romanticism may have withered and died for most of the Land of Eem, but not those heroic knights whose bravery inspires all they encounter. The loyal chum, reliable and true. The loyal chum is the quintessential ally and travel companion. Their contributions may sometimes go unnoticed, but they're the backbone of any adventuring party, always there to lend a hand or helpful advice. Loyal chums are the party's glue, boosting their allies and always useful in a pinch. The rascal is a roguish scamp, the kind found together in bands of brigands or toiling away at the worst jobs in the dungeon. They do what they must in order to survive in a world ruled by bad guys. learning a few tricks of the trade along the way. Rascals are sneaky rogues who easily get into and out of trouble. XP, and then we get into character creation. Let's see what people are saying in the comments right over here. What? I sneezed on the Mac again? Yeah, everything. Sam Gamgee class. Yeah, the loyal chum. You know, some of these actually remind me of kind of the things that we did. A couple of them for the Cultist RPG. But yes, that does seem like Sam Gamgee. Items and equipment. We've been going for over an hour here, so I think we are going to have to return to this game because we haven't even gotten into how the sandbox world works. I'm really interested in that. I want to know how to use the map and more about the travel rules and stuff. So yes, this will be more than one morning grind. I'm not exactly sure when we will return to it. I hope that on Wednesday we'll have I'll have some of the Rabavania characters ready, and I also started building out VTT for that in playing cards for index card RPG to use with the Rabavania game. So this is I want to know how this works. I like this. It's sandbox, and there's a whole bunch of stuff in here. It's not sandbox, and hey, the game master can make it all up. So there's a whole bunch of stuff in here. Hopefully there is like how to use this book. What is the contents? Let me just look at the contents real fast. Okay, how to use the sandbox, page 6. That's exactly where it should be. The first page after the table of contents is how to use the sandbox and making the Land of Eem your own. Okay. That's an important section. All right. I am let's see. Better Thing says, I don't know how big a shtick this will come as, but I'm personally more engaged by social encounters than combat encounters. That's why I love Vampire. Any game that includes social mechanics and also states up front that not all of the monsters are looking for a fight has my attention. That's why I was initially interested. All right. Well, I am going to go. I'm trying to get my technology back up and running. We'll see if we can do that. Hopefully the hub works. Otherwise, we'll have to order another one, and we'll see when it gets here. But anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I really do appreciate Exalted Funeral for sending this. We've got more to look at. I mean, this does seem really cool. This is a really nice box set. All right. I will talk with everybody later. Maybe in the Discord server later. I'm going to be working here at the computer and trying to get stuff done. So have a wonderful day, everybody. Go forth, be creative, and be constructive. Later.